Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the commodities update video. And today we'll be looking at natural gas, UNG, oil, silver, gold, as well as the US dollar. We'll be looking at their support and resistance levels that you guys can potentially look into and play off of, as well as the most likely scenario price will be heading into later this week. And I have a Discord in my YouTube bio, and that's all free. Feel free to come hang out and talk about stocks. And let's get started. So we're looking at natural gas. On Friday, we talked about this tightening range. We're looking on the daily time frame, and we talked about where, depending on where this tightening range breaks, we'll likely get more follow through on that side as well. And also, we're currently in a daily downtrend, so still favoring bears at this moment. You guys can see initial move, bounce. So that's a pivot being set. That's a lower high, making a lower low, breaking prior low. It's a daily downtrend. Same thing, pivot being set. That's the pivot right there. Made a lower high and a lower low. So daily downtrend is still intact. Same thing, continuation of a lower low. So now we have another pivot being set here as well. So the question is, can the bulls bounce here or not? And we are a little bit oversold on the daily on the RSI. And I talked about that. Daily oversold can stay daily oversold. Same thing as daily overboughts for a while. We just scroll back to a couple times, you can see how long we've stayed daily oversold when we first hit it. And I think we did, or that was a 50% drop if you got in that day. So we don't want to just take one indicator for just to blindly get in. But let's see. So oversold was over here and all the way to continuation of the oversold. Yeah, about a 30% drop. But if you held from the next oversold, about a 35% drop. But yeah, so you get the idea. So we want more confluence of signals to potentially say we may have a bottom here. So let's take a look. So let me delete this tightening range since it already broke bear. Now this sideways range is going to act as resistance because we had 3 days of indecisions, and there's this resistance and this is support. We broke the support. So now we're going to backtest it. Support is going to become resistance, which is what happened today. So we came up to it, and the bear said, no, we were not going to get back above this sideways range. So we rejected from that. That's not a good sign. And that means the bears are still in control. Zoom into the hourly to take a look at what happened there. So yeah, we pretty much came up to that low of this range, that sideways range. You can see pretty much that range. And then we rejected from there. So essentially, the only thing gold have is on Monday's low. That's it. There's no real support along the way here. You can see if bulls can hold Monday's low. And I talked about 4-hour EMA 12. I think did we get over it? We did get over it, but never really closed the day above it. We always slightly get above it and then end up being below the 12 EMA by the end of the day. So that's not a good sign either. So as long as EMA 12 is above us, which is the teal looking line, if it keeps rejecting and we just keeps on closing below it, bulls aren't going anywhere either. Hourly trend is still, let's see here. This is sideways, hourly downtrend, hourly uptrend, broke below the pivot. So neutral, we're just hourly trend is in neutral. But let's see if we can get that bounce going. Maybe this could be a 4-hour higher low, but the odds of that is quite low. Higher low just means that this is initial bounce, big enough. And we pull back and bulls decide to hold a higher low, meaning that we don't hit a new low here. And then we need to break above today's high. If that happens, then we have a 4-hour uptrend. And we also will be above the 12 EMA, this teal line. So if both of those happens, and we bounce off of the daily RSI oversold. So 3 confluence of signal goes together. Let's say we do confirm for our uptrend. Then the chances of this marking a temporary low increases a lot. At this moment, this could just roll over tomorrow and we hit a new low, right? And it will just be a continuation of the daily downtrend. Hourly, daily, 4-hour downtrend. But yeah, weekly, see weekly oversold yet? No, weekly is not oversold yet. See that we have gone weekly oversold before around this level. Let's see. Yeah, close to those levels. But This could bounce a little bit and head even lower, and we could get a weekly oversold. But as of now, we don't want to be just guessing all the way that far. Weekly oversold takes a long time because it's on the weekly time frame. So yeah, first step, 4 hour. 4 hour uptrend confirms and breaks above the 4 hour EMA 12. Then we'll start looking for a temporary bounce here. As of now, no signs of that yet. Just let's see if this low 2.676 can hold and make a lower high and bounce above high. If not, then we're looking at this too much all-time lows at 2.649. I just want to get the same number as me. Make sure to click adjusted on your chart. So just adjust the contracts. Otherwise, if you unadjust, the price and everything will look different. All right, let's take a look at UNG, which is the tradable ticker for natural gas. Same thing. I'm going to go to the daily time frame. Very similar. We had this sideways range, broke there. So we had that gap down here and came up, back tested it, and rejected as well. So price support now acted as resistance. So that's not a good sign. And we're getting quite oversold as well. 26 on the daily. 4 hour, same thing. Cannot get over EMA 12. UNG is even more clear. You can see rejection, 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 rejection from the EMA 12, rejection there, rejection there, rejection there again. And so yeah, let's see if we can get over that EMA 12. If not, here's full in control, as well as the 4 hour downtrend is still intact. If this can be marked the higher low for 4 hour, same thing, big enough bounce. Where now we did pull back quite a bit, but we have a little bit of space for bulls to work with for that higher low. So let's see if bulls can actually pull it off, bounce above 12 EMA, and break above Tuesday's high for a 4 hour trend change to the uptrend. If not, we will break today's low and continuation of the downtrend. It's like back here, breaking our bounce. Bulls try to set that pivot. You can see we had a little bit of a lower wick here. And then next thing you know, we broke the low. So same set up here. So let's see if this lower wick ends up holding and we can go up or not. If not, likely another lower low, which is technically the most likely scenario because bears are currently in. Every trend is in a downtrend. So yeah. All right, let's take a look at oil. I think I missed oil last time, but all right, so oil is getting a bit beaten up now. We're still in that sideways range. This drop range zone right here, between here and here. And we've been talking about this zone where as long as it stays in this zone, we know where oil is going to be trading. But now we are pretty much at the low of the zone. If we don't bounce here tomorrow, we're testing this low. Don't bounce here tomorrow, we are going to come to 3.64, which is starting to test this structure. It's going to be between these blue lines. So be here. Here will be the strong resistance that I'm looking at. If we break those blue boxes, and I'm looking at this uptrending support, this maroon looking line, which has been held here, 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 4 times, 5 times, all the way back here. So it's a long-term support, 6, 7, 8. So that would be likely the last level of support I'll be looking at. If that breaks, that's a long-term structure break, and we'll likely get more bear follow through from that. So we'll see if, and when that would be a negative sign for the economy to have oil hitting that low, and that will be increasing some macro issues overall. At this moment, we don't want to be speculating yet, but if we do break this long-term support, we will definitely see it coming. But as of now, we got over 12 EMA for one day. Did we close above it? No. Came up all the way, tested the resistance of the sideways range, double top, came below, closed down here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Guess we can just continue to use the 12 EMA as our guide. Rejection over here, rejection, 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 and it's about to break the sideways range. Broke this zone at this 67.5 zone. Up. And if we do bounce, then I'm looking back up at this 12 EMA, see if we can go above that. If it gets above that, then I'm looking back at the top of this sideways range. Right. Take a look at gold. So not a good sign for gold. Hit all-time highs. Upper wick, that's a blow off top. Let's see if it's more like a rising wedge. Usually if we hit a higher high with no follow through, it's usually a rising wedge. Let's see here. Sort of. Except this one kind of ruined it. But overall, I can see this resistance, 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 resistance. It is a rising wedge. This black looking one support. That's a resistance as well. The maroon looking one, this one, that's support. So rising wedge looks like this, just like a rising looking triangle overall in the big picture. Like that. Keep that as a reference. But so we did break above this black looking line resistance where I was talking about there's a support, 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 and it's going to act as resistance when we come up to it. We rejected from it once, but we broke above it. And then we're looking at this blue looking line. We broke both as well. And now we just hit this top of the zone. So that's pretty much a blow off top. The size of the bounce and the size of the pullback, keep it all back the same day, is a blow off top. That's not looking good. So we'll likely get more follow through on the downside. Let's see, are we in a... Yeah, we're back to a daily neutral trend. So I will be looking back down at... Delete this. So we actually back tested this black looking line. Right there, you can see this upper wick. Back tested as support. Used to be active support. So you bounced off of that earlier. For those 2 days, we were because we got above it. We bounced off of that, hit higher, and now we closed below it. So now it's going to act as resistance. Came back above it, rejected from that. We are likely going to be looking down at 2004 if the 12 EMA doesn't hold. So it looks like we held the 12 EMA today. There, we got bounced off of there as well. So we bounced off of here recently as well. So if we can break below the teal looking line, we're looking back down at 2004. If that holds, we're going to come back up to test this black looking line and this blue as well around 2041. We'll see if that happens. Bulls hold this, we bounce to here, or break that, we test the black looking line. Bears break the teal looking line. We're going to test 2004. If that breaks, we're coming down now to 1984. Dollar. So it doesn't make sense. US dollar have been bouncing. So the US dollar and metals are inversely correlated. So it's a pretty big bounce for the US dollar. So gold also is a little bit weaker because of that. And for the first time, we have broken above 12 EMA. So that is notable to me for the US dollar. So we may see a little bit of more weakness from the broader market, stock market overall, QQQ and S&P 500, if this continues. Because you can see we have rejected from there, teal looking line, and then we never gone above it. Rejected over here as well one more time, and then came back tested it, went above it. So now bulls have enough room, big bounce now, where if we get a pullback, they can still change the trend. So that we get a higher low pivot being set and then give the daily uptrend. If that happens, then that might be a longer term bottom for the dollar. Just like last time where we got oversold on the daily, that was the market bottom of the dollar as well. You can see similar idea, picking up bounce, where when it pulled back, it has room now to set that daily higher low, higher than the prior low, for a daily uptrend to change. So the next question for us is that when the dollar pulls back, is it going to be a shallow pullback like this, and then we set the daily higher low and get a daily uptrend, or we're going to just give it all back? That's a big question. So if we do set a daily uptrend, then that is going to be a longer term bottom. If we get half, most of it back or 50% of it back, then it may start to favor the bears again for a downtrend. But as of now, it's above the 12 EMA and it's looking pretty decent. Ever since it confirmed its hourly uptrend here. It's continuing. So that's the next question for us. If the daily trend can confirm. And if this continues, metals are going to pull back more. So make sure to watch the dollar if you're playing any kind of silver, gold, any kind of metals. All right. take a look at silver. So silver, big pullback as well, low off top, same thing. We didn't get over the last resistance though, right here. And we pretty much hit the dot on it. So let's take a look where it's going to go now. Silver also broke below the 12 EMA. You can see we tried to hold it on Monday and then came back below it today. Held it here as well, but I was going to act as resistance if we come back above it. And the next level I'm looking at is pretty much exactly this dot. You can see this is pretty much his volume profile. So it's supply and demand. And you can see that volume is acting as support. So there was a lot of probably previous buyers here. You see all these wicks over here before we got above it, came back. Now that level is acting as support because it was prior resistance. You can zoom in. Resistance, 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 resistance for 5 days there. There's a lot of volume there. So when we broke above it, now we're coming back below it. It's going to act as support at least once. And if we do bounce a little bit and then close below like that, then that just means it's daily downtrend confirm, and we'll likely get more downside follow through from that. If we break today's low, I'm looking back down at this prior resistance, 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 resistance. So when we come down to this maroon line, it will act as support, likely at least once as well. So if we come back down here, let's see, we get a bounce, and then today's low, this level may act as resistance. We may get a head and shoulders look. That happens. Bounce, head and shoulders, left. This will be the right shoulder. This is the left. And then that'll be the neckline. And if we break that, we're coming back down to the long-term structure that we have been looking at again. So we'll see. So if the dollar continues to go up and confirms a daily uptrend, this will also form a daily downtrend. So it look like that. So tomorrow, dollar goes up again. Silver pulls one more leg down, and dollar decides to pull back slightly, right? Silver bounces slightly, and then dollar forms a daily uptrend. Silver will form a daily downtrend. We'll see if this head and shoulders ends up playing out. So make sure to take a look at the dollar as well at the same time. All right, that's all I got for you guys. And feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you guys made it this far or learn anything. And I will see you guys sometime later this week for more updates. And make sure to comment below if you guys want to see the stock market update video. Sometimes there's a lot less viewers on the stock market update videos, so I do a little bit less of them. But if you guys are looking for that, let me know, and I will do a recording on that. I do the S&P 500 QQQ and a 7 mega cap tech stocks analysis there. And yeah, let me know. I'll see you guys around.